So guys, this video is for those of you that's trying to get motion and mobility back in your affected side, and you still may be dealing with the fisted hand, a stiff wrist and elbow and all those things. So I want us to think outside the box. So these exercises I've been doing lately is having you think outside the box. Understanding that the hand may not be able to move. You're probably not able to drink with the hand, and I'm using this hand because I'm affected left. So we're gonna say our affected side is side A. Our non-affected side is side B. So side A, you may not have full rotation and everything in the wrist, and you just say, well, I can't use it. So you go and use side B all the time. So when we think outside of the box, understanding that my wrist still may be tight and my elbow still may not move how I want to, we have to start doing things that are more natural to us that we don't think about. One of the most natural exercises that we can do without thinking is brushing our teeth. So we go to say, if you're saying, hey, why don't we use side A to brush my teeth because I can't get my hand open or whatever the case may be. You drive and do it with side B all the time, but reality, that is a natural movement that you don't have to think about. Everybody knows we have to brush our teeth. So what we do is we pry those fingers open, get that in there. So if it's stiff, get that toothbrush in there, put it in there. And the best option really is for an electric toothbrush for us. So you get that in there, you're opening the mouth, and the wrist may be tight, the arm may not move, but guess what? It's okay if you get toothpaste all over your face. So that's just one thing I want to think about. So a natural move is with a toothbrush. The next thing is we all pick something up and we drink it. And I have two different versions here. Wish I had a handle on this one, but I don't. We all do things like that. So say, for instance, if you're dealing with a situation, say, hey, well, I can't even grab this because my fingers are too tight or spastic. And actually right now it's great because my fingers are pretty spastic right now. Not really wanting to straighten them out. I'll get them to straighten out. I'll have to warm it up. But right now, it's good for me to show y'all this while they're spastic. So what I can do is to say, I'm going to pick this up without breaking it. So I'm going to assist it. Place this hand here, side B. And we're gonna, which again, y'all know I can use my hands. We're gonna put those fingers there. And what I'm doing is I'm utilizing a mirror therapy right now because I'm watching myself in the camera. So I still don't have full feeling in these fingers, but I know that I'm holding this one because I'm looking at it. So what I'm doing is now the reality is you say that's not a natural movement for my wrist to be tight like this, but it is. So instead of us focusing on my wrist is too tight for me to do so I can't drink this or do anything, we're gonna start with an exercise as pouring it in the cup. And when we're doing something like this, pouring in the cup, you may say that's unbalanced, but what that's doing is now it's a natural movement for you to focus on. I want to get all this water in here. So I began to do something like this. So if we look at that rotation and understanding that my arm does move a lot better than a lot of us are dealing with. So what happens is, if you see what I did was my elbow, I couldn't get the turn with just doing this. I had one of these situations, but I had to force the elbow to drive all the way up. So you may deal with a situation your elbow doesn't drive up. So then we got to look at that's the scapula in that situation. So it's I have a purpose of why I'm doing this video, because show you some exercise how we can do them. So you may be in this next situation, say, well, I can't get my fingers in here to pick this cup up the way that you would want to pick it up. So say, for instance, side B, you may pick up and drink something like this, and all those fingers get in there. You get to this side, say those fingers don't open like that. I can't get them in there. So what we do is we can do a situation like this. All the fingers still may not get in there, and I'm going fast for the purposes of this. But a lot of times when you say side B, you might pick up the glass and just drink it like this. So we'll pry those fingers open and just use a couple. So again, understanding that this may be too heavy for side A to pick up on its own. So we're gonna use side B to help us. So we got those fingers in there, and instead of saying, hey, I don't wanna drop this glass, I'm gonna assist it with this hand. So I can let go, but I'm showing you how to do this for yourself. Assist it with this hand, so therefore you're not focused on dropping this. So if you focus on dropping this, your elbow's gonna tense up, your hand's gonna tense up, all these things are gonna happen. But instead of that, I'm gonna assist it. And what I'm gonna do now is assist it, bring it to this cup, and I'm going to begin to spill that is what I was saying. I began to do that. So what I'm doing with that is now I got everything in there. Now it's forcing me to drive that hand up even more. And naturally, if your arm doesn't move up on its own, what I'm doing is when I'm assisting this, I am pushing this torque of this elbow up in that position, so it's helping me. So again, not to say that I can't do it by itself on this end, because you probably can't. We're going to assist with what we can do. But then understanding, the next thing I want you to look at is, hey, this is how I'm picking this up with this hand. This hand is a lot more relaxed. The elbow, wrist, everything's loose and relaxed. So we're going to watch how we do this with this hand. So I can take this in here without driving this elbow up because everything's relaxed on this side. But then at the same time, I can do the torque in the wrist to get it all up without using the elbow. But the reality is we have that stiffness over there, and you may not be able to get that wrist to turn like that. So that's why we have to add the elbow in to get it up. So when we go back to this side, in a sense, let me switch the cups over here. We go back to this side, and again, I'm doing this purposely so you can see the motion that you're doing on side A and side B and how it works. So I can do this and I can empty this cup without using the shoulder and using everything. But again, I'm not dealing with the tight wrist on this side. Now, if we're dealing with the tight wrist like side A, you can't just twist that wrist to get it all in. You gotta now incorporate something like the shoulder. So therefore, in terms of after my demonstration, both of those happened, you say, well, how do I get that shoulder to start moving like that? So again, dealing with the fact that you still may have a lot of spasticity and tone in your scapular, because this movement naturally, without me forcing to think about it, we go like this. And say for instance, if your wrist is tight, you're only getting yourself here. But then when I do it on this side, we get here. So you say, okay, I can't get it like this naturally. This one goes naturally. So what we do is now we're gonna force it. First, force it and work on it to now drop up. So what's happening is this elbow is going up towards the ceiling. So therefore it's driving that scapula up. So we have this direction here and it's right here. So say for instance, your wrist is still tight like this. You have this elbow. So this right here is locking you from being able to get that scapula up as well. So that's what we're assisting it with this arm. Assisting with this arm. So you may at this point say, oh my gosh, that hurts in my scapula, especially when you begin to hold it up here. You may be like, that hurts. But what we're gonna do is breathe through it. I want you to hold it up here for a while because we're stretching that scapula and we're getting some movement in it, and it's not a natural movement for you right now. So how we loosen that scapula up, because it's not a natural movement, we're gonna take your side A, which is the affected side, and we're assisting it with this hand. Pull it up because we're gonna work that scapula and we're gonna drive it back. And let me turn sideways so you can see we're driving it back. So I want you to first take it back to its natural movement. So if your natural movement only issue here, we're gonna take side B and push it to get it further back there. So what that's doing is we're getting more mobility in that subscapular, but we're using our side B to help us. We're gonna drive it back in front. And what I'm doing is I'm stretching this out. I'm getting movement, I'm getting blood flow in that arm. And as I'm doing that, and we're gonna do this, I'm gonna ask you to do that, and literally multiple times, 15 to 21 times. I'm not gonna do it 15 to 21 times for the video purposes, but then from this position, as we're trying to get this elbow here, now I'm gonna have you do this, drive it up, bring it back down, and bringing it back down because it's resetting your nervous system, to get everything back in a relaxed position. We're gonna drive it back up, and we're assisting it there. But again, if you get to a point and you say, hey, the elbow isn't moving, we go back to this side. Hey, this elbow moves like this. So what this does is it gives you the idea and sends a signal to the brain to say, okay, well, this elbow moves like this. My wrist is straight, my hand is straight, everything's straight. So we need to get it that way. So when I now bring them both, you might still have a tight wrist like this. So what I want you to think about, hey, I'm bringing this hand to this space right here, and the elbow could go up here. So you may start off and you might be in this situation here. How do we get it to this situation here? We're gonna assist it, guys. Assist that arm to go up. And you're holding it there because when we continue to do this, and again, I'm using the camera, the mirror, as mirror therapy. So when we begin to do it like that, you're stretching it up, but we're also sending those signals to the brain to say, okay, it does work. So if you're dealing with a situation that you want to go to try to bring a glass or something to your face, but you're dealing with that tight wrist, you say, well, I still can't get it. We got to look at the motion of how we could get this side to move. So until we get that movement and the mobility in that wrist, we got to torque it to bring it all the way up to empty the glass. So that's what we're doing. So in order for you to get to this position, we got to loosen up that scapula. So you're dealing with that tight scapula. So we'll go back with our situation right here. So we grab the glass. I'm going to assist it with side B. Going to get that hand around it. So if you have to open those fingers up, that's totally fine. Get that hand around it. So this is just a protective measure. So your brain and everything is not tightening up like, hey, I'm scared I'm gonna drop this glass. Get in this situation, wrist is still tight. So you may not be able to get it in this glass like that with just using the wrist. So we're going to use that elbow, guys. We're going to torque that elbow up, all the way, torque that elbow up so we can get that glass empty now. Same thing coming back to this side. We're going to switch it so we can pour it in here. You may figure out you don't have the ability, as I said before, to pick this up by itself. we're gonna protect it so you're not dropping it. We have this picked up, and again, understanding we know our goal is to get those fingers open and get everything open the correct way, but we're assisting it right now in case it doesn't. So therefore, you're not dropping the glass, and again, you're not thinking so much, because if you keep thinking about that, your body is tightening up, and you're causing more tone and spasticity to yourself. So take out the thought process of tightening up. We're protecting because we know side B is strong enough to assist us. So instead of saying, hey, I want to do it by itself, we're going to assist it until we're able to get it by itself. So now we got in that glass without me worrying about spilling it. And then at the same time, I'm still like, my wrist is still not able to do it. We're going to drive that elbow in now so we can get all of the water in. We're getting that elbow in, so that situation. So guys, what this video is really showing us ways to think outside the box, understanding that we still may be dealing with a tight wrist, tight scapula, hand not able to pick up something because of your fingers. You don't have full mobility in the fingers, so you can't pick up anything, can't use it with grabbing the tip of the fingers. You probably can't get your hand all the way around here. So the other things like that, we have to use other body parts. So it's really thinking outside the box. So if we work on mimicking and paying attention to side B, that will show us. So if you go to do something, say, hey, how do I put a glass in my mouth to drink it? Tight wrist over here, you can't drink it like that. So we got to find other ways. Hey, if my wrist was tight over here, I pulled it all the way up. I didn't want to drink that because it was hot, but pull it all the way up, and you're doing it something like this. Then when you get to this side, you may be in a situation with this side. Say, I can't get that wrist up to my face like that. And you're thinking about what happens is you're thinking about, hey, that wrist isn't going to move. Then you start shaking and you start tightening up, and nothing's moving correctly. So we're going to assist it. Put the hand down there. You're going to assist it and drive it up to your mouth. And I'm going to turn this way so you can see. So again, the wrist still may not be moving. So now we need to use a little more torque in the elbow to drive it up. So I want y'all to look at those tools right there while you're doing that. So think outside the box. Tight wrist, tight fist, tight, not a lot of strength in the fingers. How can we do something like picking up a glass to bring it to our mouth or our face? Let's think about something that we'll think about. Pouring water in and out of a cup, pouring water in and out of a cup. Watch both sides, and you start to see that, hey, I got to use a little more mobility till I get that full strength back over here. So that's what I want us to focus on, guys. Let me know how these videos work for y'all. I appreciate y'all. But hey, I'm gonna be honest. I need y'all to really start watching these videos more and pay attention, because a lot of y'all ask me some of the same questions, and I understand you don't get through all the videos. But if this video is helping you, forward this to somebody else, or share these videos also, so therefore these can circulate more to other survivors that are looking for help, looking for a system, how to get their independence back. So we don't think about it all the time. You may have stumbled upon that page and that's how you found it, but the more we share these videos, the more it gets to the forefront of people that really need this. So therefore, instead of them waiting months of trying to figure out how they can help and then waiting to stumble, guys, start sharing these videos with y'all. I appreciate it. Also, I'm gonna make a post, because I want to see what times would be good for y'all to start going live, so we can do these live demonstrations to help y'all throughout this, to make sure we have some activity that y'all can do on a daily basis. All right, talk to y'all soon.